So here is that sheet that I was just mentioning about just a second ago. Okay guys, here is my sheet, the only budget here. So the idea is that when you get paid, you start in this payday tab right here. You type in how much you get paid. So for this example, we're gonna say I got paid, let's go high, right? Let's do 2,000. But it can be anything from 50 bucks that you made on an extra check you didn't expect to $2,000 or $10,000, whatever it is. So for this example, I'm gonna put $2,000 in the how much I was paid tab. It'll tell me that I have $2,000 left to sort of my paycheck. And then it's gonna tell you where it recommends that you put your money and how much it recommends you put into each section. Now this right here is built by you guys. When you get the sheet, you can type in anything you want for every section. Literally anything. You can put rent, or if you have a mortgage, you can type in mortgage, you can put emergency fund, whatever. These are just pre-examples set for you of common things that people have to pay for, but you can go in and change their amount really easily. And I'll show you how. Over in this tab, you can literally type it to whatever you want. Mortgage, you could type medical bills, whatever it is you need, you type in the name of the expense that you will have to pay for each month, or whatever you want to set money aside for in your life. Base it on your lifestyle, right? If Chipotle is so important to you, set aside a lot of money for Chipotle. This is not about being constricting, it's about the power and freedom that it gives you. What we want with this is financial freedom. We want less stress on you and more financial freedom. So sort your money in a way that feels freeing and puts money to where you actually want. Don't sort categories and create funds for stuff you know you should have, but doesn't give your life any fun. You need a balance of where you should be putting your money and where you want to, right? So in this fund, we have mortgage. For example, we type in how much it is. For this example, we're gonna do 325, and you'll select which category this is. Is a mortgage payment something you need to live, something you want to add quality to your life, or something that is an investment, something that's saving money, a good money decision that's optional? So a mortgage, obviously guys, is needs, so that's the red. Let's say it's not medical bills, right? Let's go back to emergency fund. And let's say you have $220 you want to put into your emergency fund. You decided that's how much you want to put each paycheck to get to a certain goal. Then you go into this category right here, and then you select savings. Then after you list all your expenses, all the different funds that you want to set money aside for, everything from rent, emergency fund, car payment, childcare, sports gambling, whatever it is, it'll list your total expenses on a bi-weekly basis. And then, because this is automatically sorted for bi-weekly, but you can easily change that. It doesn't have to be, if you get paid weekly, change this right here to weekly, whatever it is. But right now it's set for bi-weekly, and then it'll tell you how much that is on a monthly basis. It just takes this number and then doubles it. So if you were to change this to weekly, you get paid weekly, then you would need to go down here and change that to bi-weekly, like that. So we're gonna change it back here. Okay, and for simplicity's sake, guys, the beige boxes are boxes that you can edit and put whatever you want here. And then the gray boxes are ones I don't recommend touching because you could break them. So let's go ahead back to the start, right? We're a little all over the place. You got paid $2,000 on this check. Whatever is right here in these gray boxes are gonna be what you filled out on that other page under the current balances page. So let's say you decided where you want to put your money, and you can decide, okay, do I have $325 for rent? I have $2,000 remaining to sort right here, so it looks like I can do that. Great. It'll automatically tell you how much of your paycheck you have left to sort. Let's say you don't feel comfortable doing the $220 that you want to every week. This week you want to do just $190. That's fine, you can do that. Car payment, $215. Let's say maybe you want to get a little extra ahead on the car payment. You put $225 in there. But then for everything else, you really just stick with what you've expected already, what you've planned out. You looks like you have plenty of money to do, in this case, what you have set aside. Okay, you get all the way down to subscriptions, you get 9, health insurance is $75, blank is nothing. You can see that you needed $1,629 to hit every section. You allocated $1,609 because you chose to give $20 less to emergency fund. You can see right here that after all your expenses, you have $391 left of your paycheck. This is leftover money. This goes back to that point I made earlier of this is something you can use to make an extra house or car payment, or something that you can use to put in your emergency fund, which is something I would suggest. For me personally, I actually create an expense for emergency fund, but you don't have to do that. You can just see what you have left over and put that in your emergency fund, or savings, I should say. So in this case, we have $391 left. That's wonderful. We're going to put that in our savings. So what's next? You've put in where you want to put your money. You've actually put in what you're going to put in now. What's next? Next, you go to your current balances and you actually put it into the funds. Now what we're doing here is sorting a paycheck. This is a little more effort, but the hardest part of it is doing this. Everything else, when you're swiping that card, is super fast. I'll show you why. So let's say you $325 in your rent. You want to put $190 in your emergency fund. We go over here, we put $325 in the rent, $90 in the emergency fund, whatnot. We fill out all the stages. And I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just going to fast forward to when I complete that. Okay, we're back. So I just went ahead and moved everything from here into each section. Took me about 1 minute. But I didn't want to have you sit here in silence and watch me do that. So now we see what your available funds are. These are the categories, the amount of money you have to spend on each certain thing. And then right here, this total should match what you have in your account. So let's say that it comes time to pay your rent. You know, your rent, if for some reason it's super cheap, you have roommates, it's $300. When that comes out, you go into your sheet, you go to the rent section right here, you take out $300. Now you have $25 left for rent. When it comes time to go grocery shopping, you spend $50 at the grocery store. After you spend the $50 at the grocery store, you'll bring it down to $110 in the babysitting fund. Let's say, you get to the next paycheck and you have money left over, and you get $65 more on the next paycheck for dates. You just add that to that existing number. Now you have $130 for dates, things like that. And if you know at a glance when you open up this account, right, if you're going to have enough for something. Let's say you want to take your significant other out on a fancy date. You have $130 in your date fund. The place you want to go to is going to be $150. Then you can't afford that date, or you could do $130 out of your date fund and $20 out of your vacation fund. You're willing to make that sacrifice on a vacation later on because that date's going to be so nice. Something like that. That's just an example. But you have the ability to choose your priorities and move money around accordingly. And that is the easy part. It just takes 5 seconds to open up the app, the Sheets app, take out the amount of money you need, things like that. Now, something that I really like about this sheet, guys, is the stats and charts page. So if we go over to the stats and charts page, we get some really cool pie charts to automatically deep dive into how we use our money. So we see here that based off these selections that we did earlier on where we're going to put our money, it tells us what percentage we're spending on needs, like bills that are required for us to live, how much we're spending on wants, things that we like to spend money on, that we choose to spend on for our lifestyle, and then it shows how much money we are dedicating to savings categories. Savings categories, for example, like a car repair fund, or to our brokerage account, or into our retirement account, things like that. So you want to be close to the rule called 50-30-20. It's a general rule that financial advisors have suggested for decades, which is that 50% of your income, no more than 50% of your income should be on the needs for you to live. 30% of your income should be on wants, things that you enjoy and you like to spend money on and give you quality of life, and 20% should be put on savings. In this theoretical example, we can see that we are nailing it right on the pie, but it's not always realistic. My personal one is really off right now. Let's go to my own copy of this sheet that I use that I'm going to try and not show you guys everything for privacy reasons, but I'm going to jump to the pie chart and show you that. All right, let's look at this right here. And my own personal chart, since I literally use this, it shows that I'm spending 70% on needs, 13% wants on savings. I'm not saving as much as recommended. I'm not spending enough money on myself as is recommended, and so my quality of life is really low, and my needs are so high. Now my needs are so high because my bills are more than I can afford. I might have a car payment that's too high, or I have some debt that is higher than expected. Like I do have some debt on a major car repair I had that I couldn't afford last year. So my needs are so high because my bills are high. So, but this is a little more realistic. We can't always keep it to the 50, 30, 20, but at least this pie tracks that and tells us those things. All right, so you have a pie that will tell you how your money is going, how you're sorting it, and then there's a pie that automatically fills out over here that tells you where your money is going. You don't have to touch these, you just look at them. It's just something if you're interested in looking at, totally optional. It's just something I put in there for fun, guys. But if you look at the where's my money going, it'll tell you like, oh, you're spending 20% of your income on rent, 13% of your paychecks going to your emergency fund, 13% is going to your car, 10% is going to caregiving costs, 7% groceries, you're spending 6% on gas, 4% on dates. Oh wow, I'm spending more money on dates than I am on car repairs. Or wow, I'm spending, you can look at it and say, I'm spending twice as much on my car payment as, or no, 4 times as much on a car payment as my vacations. That's kind of crazy. Maybe I should lower my car payment so I can go on better trips. Things like that. It just gets your brain working to think, which is kind of nice. So that's it, guys. That's literally the sheet. It's not as complicated as it looks. The only actual management you have to do of it is whenever you spend something, or you want to update this section, whether it be 4 days later, a week later, make sure that it's just reflecting your actual amount in your bank account. Let's say this says that you have $1,000 sorted, but your bank account actually says $1,200. That's a good thing. You can just put money where you want. Like let's say I want to put more money in my gambling fund. We can see that 138. Now my spreadsheet is matching what I actually have in my account. Let's say it says 1,200 and you realize you only have 900 in your account. Maybe you overspent, you forgot to track some stuff. Shoot, I don't really have $1,200, guys. This isn't true. Well, then you figure out where to cut. Yeah, I guess I don't need $138 on sports gambling. Oh man, I guess my emergency fund can't really be filled this paycheck. Whatever. What else? Let's see. Obviously, this is an example. You obviously can't cut groceries this much, but $20 in your groceries, or $33 in your groceries instead of what you had. Now your account actually shows what you have in your account. So it's super easy to fix and it's easy to manage. So that's my budget spreadsheet. This is completely free in the link below, and there are the tips I gave you in the beginning. Might split this into 2 videos, not quite sure, or part 1 and part 2. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.